distracting us from our destiny. We are not interested in things distracting us from our highest income levels. We are just not okay with any low standards anymore. The spirit of laziness, distractions, you must go now because we are ready to rock it out. So who's ready to work? Put the word work in the chat. Come on, Eva, smile. Let's go, girl. Hi, Lilia. Hello, Irene. Hello, little doggy picture. Hi, Kathleen, Christine, Heidi. Heidi, what's up? Kimberly Club, David Jacks, always nice to see you. All right, okay. We are gonna get rocking and rolling. So, it takes a minute to get committed to work, doesn't it? Right? How many of you guys feel like you're spinning a little bit? Put the word spin in the chat. Tony, I saw your text. I just have been in meetings all day, so I will answer you. How many of you guys feel like you are spinning right now? Okay, let me ask you, spinner. I didn't say you were a spinner. I just said you were spinning a little bit, right? So how many of you guys feel like you're spinning? So there's a good amount of you guys. Okay, so I am a big fan on not getting onto these on-demand lives and training just a bunch of theory. I think there's enough scrolling that you can do online. There's enough waking up in the middle of the night and spending way too much time on Instagram or Facebook getting nothing done, right? You guys, like there's just enough distractions in the world that you don't need me taking up space in your life. You need me to be valuable and instrumental to be able to help you move forward. Am I right or am I right? Say yes. If you appreciate the fact that we provide real content here for you to move forward. My next question to you is, have you changed something in your business or your personal life because you've been connected to this platform, right? I'm curious, has it been in love? Has it been in your love relationships? Has it been in your finances? Has it been in your cash flow? Has it been in your attitude? Has it been tell me, just go in the chat. What has been with your children, in your character, your mindset, building out your lead gen and your summits, leveling up? My platform has grown. My attitude and my mindset, my leadership has grown. Acceptance of wanting money. So you're not feeling shame around wanting money. Your energy has increased, right? Moving to completion energy, your lead generation. I've knocked out 2 summits and pocket coaching wisdom to my clients. So good, right? My business mindset has opened. These are all the things that people are commenting right now in the chat. So that's great. So now I want to level it up. So let me tell you something. First of all, I'm going to let you know that as we go into next month, I spent 2 hours this morning in priority focused time, and I priority focused with a friend of mine here in Puerto Rico, and we are designing your future check right now. Okay, so how many of you guys are happy about that, right? How many of you guys feel secure in your future check? How many of you guys know your future check is going to grow? How many of you guys are my future check is actually kind of scary because if I keep doing the same thing that I'm doing right now, my future check is scary, right? So do you feel secure or do you feel a little scared about your future check? Can you let me know in the chat? Because it tells me where you're at. I don't need the hype. I don't need the motivation. I need the truth, right? If I'm going to be your coach, I need to see you. Are you scared about your future check? And if you're scared, it's because something that you're doing right now, needs to change, right? Do you feel really secure? You feel like you're on track and things are starting to come together. So you're feeling okay, I've got some security in my future check. Okay. So I'm going to kind of step over here to the side for a second. Last night, I called what I called the boardroom meeting, which is everybody who's in my house. We're going to sit down for a second. We're going to talk, right? And so we sat down last night and I said, I can tell you one of the benefits I have, and if you are an entrepreneur, which you are working with people. And you're hoping to grow that people audience so you work with more people, because the more people you work with, the more revenue, or the higher your price point, the more revenue. It's 1 of 2, right? You're gonna raise your price or you're gonna raise your people, right? It's gonna be 1 of the 2, and that equates to a stronger, secured future check, right, my friends? Yes? So that being said, I have this boardroom table last night meeting, and I said, I am noticing, and you tell me if I'm right. You put the word right if I'm right, and if I'm off, put the word off. Okay, if I'm right, put the word right. If I'm off, put the word off. But the data and the pattern that I'm seeing in comments and in questions that I'm being asked, it's like this pull of peace and power and security, and then this massive amount of fear and just, it's like this battle between peace and hell, you know what I mean? Or between peace and fear. It's like you have these moments where you're feeling like this really incredible sense of peace, but then it's getting completely sideswiped with this like really crazy, intense fear. Is anybody feeling that? Put right if that's the case, put off if I'm off. Okay, because I literally said to our crew last night, I said, it feels like there is a battle in the spiritual realm of the angels and the demons, and that there is a battle happening for our souls right now. Literally, this is how I saw it. And you know, whatever happens in the spiritual realm, we feel in the physical, right? And so there's something going on up there, because there's like this peace and certainty and strength in the atmosphere. And then there's this wild sense of fear that is hijacking people. And so what's happening is people are staying put. It's like hands on the butt on my hands. I'm not moving, because it's like you almost can't trust your thoughts or your feelings because you really are not quite sure. It's creating uncertainty. Am I correct? Right? It's creating uncertainty. Okay, so here's what I told the people in my house, and then I'll get on with today's training, okay? I told the people in my house that if you literally grab the fear thought, whatever it is, so think about that right now. What was the last fear thought you had, right? What was the last fear thought you had? You're gonna lose it all. It's not gonna work. I can't let other people, you know, do my job or help me because I can't rely on people, right? Like, what is the fear thought that you had? Right? I can't make money online, right? Just go in the chat. What is the last fear thought that you had? Go in the chat. Do not be a passive listener, because you ain't receiving anything by being passive. Get in the game. Go in the chat. What was the last thought that you had? Lose it all. AI is going to kill my writing business. I'm going to help you April 10th. You should write that down if you're in the writing business. April 10th, I'm going to help you. Okay. So, my plate is too full. I'm going to handle that today. That's distractions. So I need help. Okay. I'm not ready. I'm not being ready, right? That's leadership. Not understanding how to understand the online space, right? What is the last fear thought you had? That you're really like it gripped you for a second. Go in the chat and let us know what that is, okay? So my team, I would like you to copy that. Do not put the word failure. What are you afraid of failing at? I cannot help you with general comments, okay? Like if you want me to be valuable, you have a 50% play here. And that means you go and you comment in the chat. Do not give me a word like failure, because I cannot. If you want me to generally talking about failure, I could do that, but there's a lot of YouTube videos on that. Go watch Brendon Burchard, right? Like go watch, there's a lot of people holding that space, and it's great. It's a general conversation. You can create a manifesto about your life, super powerful, right? But if you want to get into working and moving out of this, that's where I come in. And I need specifics, right? I need specifics. Specifics are what create riches. Specifics are what create moving out of the ditch and getting into the destiny, right? And I can do that. I never meditated my way to freedom, okay? And I have never put myself, let me explain what I mean by that. I've meditated and gotten very clear guidance, but I've had to move, right? I had to make a decision on what things are a distraction, is what we're going to talk about today, and what things truly should I be prioritizing, because I know you and everything's important. My son is important out there. My husband's important. The fact that I need to eat is important. The fact that I need to train you and create content is important. The fact that I stream on live is important. The fact that I've got a Mentally Live mastermind is important. The fact that I've got team members at Heartcore and they have families are important. The fact that people need me to keep helping the team have opportunity to grow inside of Heartcore is important. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that's important, right? But what's the most important things that will move the dial so that all those things work out? right? So there is, let me just pop this up. There is, I laughed at my husband for these electric desks, and now I love them, right? So another marriage and partnership moment. Just because you don't see what your partner sees, they might have some good value there. So there is a domino. Pretend this is a domino, right? This is my version of a domino. Have you ever played domino? Right? There's a domino. There's a domino priority that if you focus on it, everything else under here will work out. And this is my hope today, that I'm going to be able to get you to have enough courage to unhook from the fear and grab onto this. Okay? And so here's what I told everybody in the house, because everybody has felt it. Right? And I've said, what you need to do is understand that you have authority over that fear. Everybody knows that logically. But when people are in a moment of fear, especially, it hits you a lot when you're alone, doesn't it? It hits you a lot when you're alone with your thoughts. You're alone, you're sleeping and nobody's up. It hits you when you're alone. Pay attention to the character of the fear. Put a character over the fear. It is not a safe feeling. Right? And so you must capture it and speak the opposite. You can't, when everything broke out and you had Black Lives Matter and all the stuff that was happening, I'm not trying to get in that conversation, okay? Like, I remember people getting mad at me because I hadn't spoken out online yet. For one, I didn't know it was happening the first 24, 48 hours because I don't watch the news, right? And I'm not all over Twitter, and Twitter hits before the news. So that was the first thing. But the second thing is I didn't know how to feel about it. And so I was like, what's my focus in this? Like, what do I want to say about it? It's not like something you just shoot off the hip. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is an important moment. How do I feel about this? And the number one thing that people would reach out to me and say is, if you don't say anything, it's an agreement. Like, how dare you not say anything? Well, biblically, if you don't say anything, has anybody have ever had premonitions? Like, in California, I have a street that every time I pass this street, I see a car accident. Like, I get the feeling somebody's going to come and T-bone me. Right? Like, it's constant. Every time I drive by this street, it's constant, right? It's like there's a spiritual attack. I'm not going to go too much into the spiritual attack scenario right now, but if any of you guys want to learn more about that, put the word spirit in the chat, because I can bring some of my people and they can bring some of this stuff, which is really interesting, right? So if you have an interest in wanting to know more about that, put the word spirit, because so there's a lot of really powerful stuff in that is aided to me becoming not only a millionaire, but a multimillionaire, and be able to produce what I produce. So I literally often see blueprints that are not downloads, they're holograms. Okay, and like, how do you replicate that? You can't. Which is why every now and then I open up opportunities to do VIP days with me, right? Like, you can't replicate that type of stuff, like, unless you go and do your work. And then God speaks to you the way he speaks to you. But they always work out, right? And I said to the crew here, I said, every single thing I speak keeps happening. Like, everything, right? There's a joke going on in Dorado right now that people are going to start hiring me for miracle walks, because I do things like, by the end of this weekend, you're going to get an answer on your house, and that house is either going to be an open door or closed door, but you're not going to wonder anymore. In fact, it's going to happen by today. Sit down, boom, the text comes in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's wild stuff. And I wonder how many of us have this anointing or this gift from heaven. And because you're speaking on the fear so much, you're aligning with the unsafeness. Do you know what I mean? Like you're without knowing, partnering with that energy. Does that make sense, you guys? And so I've made a rule in our house, and I won't, just like if I made you an offer to buy something right now, I'm not going to make you an offer and go, bye, make a decision. I'm not going to tell my family and all the people in my house right now, you got to grab onto that thought, and whatever the fear is, whatever the thought is, I'm going to lose everything. I want you to speak out loud. I will lose nothing. In fact, I will gain in power. I will gain in resources. I will gain in financial whereabouts. I will gain in clarity. Everything will work out for me. Every funnel will work. Every conversation will convert. Every person that's meant to be around me will be attracted. Like, I want you to grab it and dominate it. I hate the word domination, but it's like you got to dominate this energy. And so we made this rule, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm having that too. Like, everything's really working. Here's the message I'm getting right now. It's it's not even a tweak, it's like a twitch. It's a small little thing that you need to do with whatever it is that you're working on, which is why I'm going to go into priority focus. Whatever you're working on, it's like if you're going like this and you're hitting it, and the fear's got any sort of dominance over you, you have to understand that you are really close to it. And so you just need to look at it a little different. Whatever you're working on, you need to look at it from a different angle. Can you guys take some faith on that right now? You need to look at it from a different angle. Okay, and so with that being said, the people in my house said, oh my gosh, like I realize I'm adding to the atmosphere of the house every time I allow fear in the door. And so we all made an agreement that whenever a moment of fear comes, whatever time of the day, whatever, we start to speak over it, and we speak the exact opposite. Okay, this is what I've been doing for probably the last 6 to 8 months. And in this process, everything keeps coming together. And the amount of time in which I speak the exact opposite of the fear is how quickly, in other words, how obsessed I get about how rigorous I get with myself, right? How faithful I get with this strategy, this spiritual strategy. But it's not just a spiritual strategy. It is a high performance strategy. So if you're not into the whole spiritual thing, you need to understand that you will never interview a high performer that's financially free that doesn't do this, because they never get stuck. And the reason why they never get stuck is they manage what they focus on, and they never just bang their head against the wall in frustration. They do it for a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, and then they're done with it. They're like, I know there's a solution for this. I'm going to find it today. And they declare that type of stuff. And I'm going to find it today. Some people might call that confidence. Confidence comes from your ability to have faith that there is a solution. And every time you justify why you have a lower standard than you want, you are partnering with the wrong side. So how many of you guys are believers? You believe in God, you believe in heaven, you believe in all of that. Put a B if you're a believer. Put a B if you're a believer. Okay, so now you need to understand, don't work for the other side. Because what you're doing is allowing territory in your mind. The minute you allow territory to be taken over in your mind, territory comes out of your mouth. And then territory, as you start to speak it, you start to move in the direction of your words. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So you must pull back some of your words, and you must get responsible with how you aid to your environment. And literally, you've got to make sure that your environment is prosperous. Does that make sense? Got it? Yes? So I will not just leave the boardroom table, just like I would never just make you an offer and walk away. All day, I will be sending text messages and messages to everybody in my household, because I want the amplification of my house to be in a high, not just a high vibration, it's more than that. I want the authority around these walls to be heightened. The authority inside this house, there'll be no weapon formed against anybody in this house. There is no room for fear in this house. There is no room for sabotage. There is no room for sabotage in any of your homes. There is no room in your mind for anything but God, heaven to partner with you. You are backed by heaven. There is no ounce of authority that you will let go of moving from this moment forward. That you're going to remember that 100% this is so much bigger than positive thinking. This is how the elite think. You cannot scare somebody who is up on their power. Because you can sit there, and this is why successful people don't hang out with people who bitch and complain. Because they don't want any of that inside them, and they know that you might be the nicest person on the planet, but partnering and hanging out with you and even having coffee with you will absolutely take away from my life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I want you to redefine the way you look at the way you approach your next hour of your life. The way you approach your spouses, the way you approach your girlfriends, boyfriends, the way you approach your virtual assistants. Some of you guys are such jerks in your own atmosphere that you are allowing fear to make you a jerk, and that is killing your ability to prosper. So you are most likely on a great idea and a great strategy, and you don't have the power to take it to the finish line. And I'm going to say, stop that right now. I have never met a problem that cannot be solved unless I'm scared. When I'm scared, the problem never gets solved, right? And the first time that that's happened to me since I started my business is a couple years ago. I'm back now, I'm good now, I know what happened, I'm on top of it. But when I brought on somebody new inside of our company and we lost $6 million, it took me some time. You know what I mean, you guys? Like, naturally. Lost $6 million in 9 months. And that was scary. And because I got scared, everything I touched wouldn't completely come together. So I know if you're in that space that you can change it right now. But I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a shitty year if you don't get a hold of this right now. Okay? Because you can work your entire year away and many years to come after that. And if you can just grab a hold of this, I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, it is impossible for you not to have an extraordinary month if you don't grab a hold of this. Like, if you grab a hold of this, so here's the coaching. Every time you feel fear, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And then I don't want you to speak it. I want you to say the opposite. And I want you to say it with power, with authority, and just literally just dominate the thought and watch what happens. A great strategy after you do that is to think about something that you're working on and ask yourself, if that was going to work out, what would I do right now? And you will get the answer. I have absolute faith in that. I have absolute faith in that. You have the power to get every answer that you need right now. The challenge is many of you guys need coaching and support because you need somebody to hold you accountable. And the reason why you need somebody to hold you accountable is you've given your power away to the wrong team. And it's gotten a foothold in your life. And today, under our watch in Hardcore, it ends. You take authority back of your life, take authority back over your bank account, you take authority back over your mind, you take authority back over your relationships, you take authority back over your children, your grandchildren, you take authority back now. Now, in order to take this and do something with it, you have to ask yourself, what is the domino thing? Like, if I and you guys help me bring people to the getgoodcoaching.com site, right? If we blow up the getgoodcoaching.com site and this membership, I really have a chance at really creating a tipping point in people's financial homes. I really have a chance at that. And to me, that's the best gift that you could ever give to me, sharing the getgoodcoaching.com site or sharing it with friends. But it is my domino, 100%. And the reason why it's my domino is it's noisy out in the world, is it not? Put yes if you think so. And so what is your domino? Mine's this platform, getgoodcoaching.com. If I have the energy, if I have the commitment, right? In April, we're building your future checks. We have an unbelievable 3-week training in the getgoodcoaching.com, that is you guys on Zoom, right? In this community, we have an unbelievable training for next month. I'm going to show you not only how to take action on your biggest priorities, but I'm also going to show you how to increase your revenue at the same time and to integrate artificial intelligence into your business to give you your time back. Okay, so before AI, it would take me years to get you good at something. But I'm not just going to be me doing it. I have been in meetings designing the opportunity for you and creating the deals to be able to bring them in, right? Because everything costs money. And you guys are lucky that I have done the work to dominate this sphere, to create the resources that I've created. And I'm able to bring people to this platform that some of you may or may not ever know. Does that make sense? Because a lot of times these guys, they do things. They just do things and they just create insane results. So one of the things we're going to show you is how do you actually write a book and be an author, a published author in 24 hours? Imagine that. How many guys have been wanting to write a book? How many guys would like to be published? How would you like to monetize that book? Right? How would you like to understand after you write? Because writing a book, if nobody reads it, it's a waste of time. It makes you feel good, but it doesn't do anything in the world. If you don't put it out into the world, then what reciprocity are you going to get? Right? There's seeds that you place. You just doing work, you got to do work for other people, which means part of your responsibility is make sure that seed gets in the right soil so it harvests, right? So we're going to teach that, right? We're literally going to do a 24-hour marathon. You go find another person who's going to do this type of stuff. You know why they're not going to do it? Because it takes too much work. I'm committed by the end of this quarter, going into the second quarter, for you guys to have a massive jump. But I can't do it if you won't dominate your thoughts behind closed doors. Does that make sense? You'll get a piece of what I have for you versus a harvest that changes your life, right? So you have to be integrating AI. And you need to know where to integrate it so that you can create the results that you want. So in the month of April, we're going to show you how to take action on the right things to create revenue and how to build a future check with artificial intelligence to get you way ahead. Because some of you guys, like, yes, if you are in the book writing industry, I don't care what anybody says in the book writing industry, it's changed, it's changing, and it's done. And so you need to evolve. When you know what we train, you're going to be like, oh, I could add this in, right? I could create this, and then you'll evolve in that industry. So don't be afraid of doors closing. Be the type of leader that you're gonna evolve in your industry. Does that make sense? That's the leadership that is so important. Okay? So I want you to ask yourself right now, what is the one thing that you feel like you battle the most with right now? And for you guys on social, I'm gonna end with you guys after this question. I'm going to go to the Get Good Coaching, getgoodcoaching.com crew on Zoom and go deeper with them. Okay. So time the AI is going to help you, by the way. Sorry, I'm excited about next month, but okay. So gosh, a lot of you guys have time issues, huh? Prioritizing time issues, procrastination, getting sales, emotions, monetizing. Okay, so I want you to go even deeper than that, okay? What is the one thing that you need to click next? What is the domino? Like, if you say sales to me, it means that if you suck at sales, you either need to get good at sales or you need to partner with someone who is a salesperson. Does that make sense, you guys? So you either need to be good at sales or you need to partner with somebody with good, like you need to make a decision. That's a domino decision, right? If you say that you don't have a message that anybody listens to, then you either need to hire a coach that can help you with that, or you need to go maybe to ChatGPT and see if it can help create a message. By the way, again, ChatGPT, the reason why it doesn't work for many of you guys is you actually don't know how to train it. And the reason why you don't, and we're going to train that too in April, right? Like we're literally going to show it to you guys in April. And you guys on the getgoodcoaching.com, the Zoom, the on-demand mastermind, you're going to get an up close and personal where we're going to dive deep. You're going to actually create marketing material. Like you're going to do it with us, right? You guys on social, you're going to get the training, but you're not going to be able to take action. So I'm telling you now, if you're watching us on social, you need to go to getgoodcoaching.com and get into this membership because you're missing out. These guys are going to be actually developing content with us when we turn off the social. What is your priority focus, right? If it's messaging, you need to figure out what do I need to do, right? If it's reach, then you need to make a decision on what is your main lead magnet. If it's emotions, then you need to get leadership help. Because emotions will sabotage this entire thing. Won't matter if you nail all this. If your emotions are off, that's what creates inconsistency, is emotions, right? Is it traffic? I always start with traffic. Because I know that if I don't have traffic, doesn't matter if I have a great message, doesn't matter if I have great emotions, it doesn't matter if I have a salesperson, it doesn't matter if I'm good at sales, it doesn't matter if I have a lead magnet, it doesn't matter if I have a great message, if I don't have traffic, which is why tomorrow I'm teaching the list building course, right? If I don't have traffic, then this is a lot of wasted time. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand that? Like, I'm not selling you, I'm telling you, like, you could have a lead magnet, you can have a website, you can have a salesperson, you can be good at sales, you can hire a coach, you can go ChatGPT, you can create the perfect message, you can be emotionally a rock star and be super resilient, you can overcome anything. If you have no traffic, you have no business. That's why I personally start there as a business coach with every single one of my clients. I always start there. So you guys on social, we're going to end now. You need to go do your work, right? You need to ask yourself right now, what is the main thing that you need to prioritize? If it's list building, you can go to retiremeshanda.com. Retiremeshanda.com. You can jump in the workshop with us the next couple days. If not, if it's something else, then geek out about this and set aside 90 minutes to 2 hours every day this week and get obsessed with your priority focus. What's the thing that you need to spend enough time and focus on so you're in completion energy? The thing about priority focus time is it's not about working, it's about results. So in other words, what did you complete in priority focus time? You guys can move on to a different thing if you literally have priority focus time. I tell this to my team all the time. If you don't have priority focus time, you're being ineffective. And I will tell you, you will be spinning. And if you are spinning, I guarantee you don't have 90 minutes to 2 hours every day, that you don't have a meeting, you don't have anything to do. You're focusing on where's the area that you need the most that brings everything else next together, right? If you already have traffic and you don't have good emotions, you get what I'm saying? Like, or if you already have traffic, but you don't have a good message, well, then you could imagine if you spent 2 hours a day for the next 2 days, even one day, most likely you will figure out a message that will crush it. If that's all you're focusing on for 2 days or for 2 hours, you will figure it out. You get what I'm saying? But the problem is you're giving a couple minutes of a thought here and there, and fear is sideswiping you out and making things take too long to come together. Because why the heck would you ever go all in on focused on anything if you were scared of it? You get what I'm saying? Social media. We will see you tomorrow. So much love to you. Everybody on the on demand, I'm coming to you, so don't go anywhere.